What's up, fam? Dr. O here. So I remember watching Morning Joe, and they were apologizing for the comment that David Frum made about Pete Hegseth was apparently too drunk for Fox News, right? And, I appreciated what they said in terms of the importance of being civil and striking the right tone, and it wasn't necessary to have a joke like that. And apparently David Frum called them a being like, I don't know, scared or something, or whatever the reason was. He was upset that they decided to make that apology the next day. And, Joe and Mika said something that I agreed with. Like, it's not wrong to try to be civil. It's not wrong to try to be respectful to people, even if you disagree with their politics. And they appreciated the fact that 10 people at Fox, went and talked about Pete Hegseth and his alcohol issues. And that's 10 people from that network did that. So they're like, don't disparage your whole network. And even when they were talking about their interviews with Trump, and flying down to Mar-a-Lago, which I did not agree with, but they were talking about the need to have dialogue and encourage civility and have conversations again and all of that other type of stuff. But the question I have is, why didn't you do that for Jordan Neely? That was his name. When you all had, your segment about, Daniel Penny getting off, you all, at least from the moment I started really listening more deeply, never said Jordan Neely's name. You said this guy, a homeless man, and you humanized Penny. So what was that about? Why was that? I mean, Jordan, and y'all basically justified Jordan Neely being killed by giving the argument that, well, people are scared on the subway. Really? Is that humane? Is that civil? Look, I've had to break up a fight or two on subways before. I know what it's like to people to be fearful, but that doesn't justify this man being killed. Subdued? Sure. This was a man who and y'all talked about the amount of times Jordan Neely has been arrested, or like how many times does someone have to be arrested before they start doing real hard time? The man had mental health issues and needed help. And the idea that the killing was fine. You talk about civility. You had no words for the people who were applauding and cheering and going crazy when the verdict was read. And no words for Jordan Neely's father, who also had his own excited language that he used, but was kicked out of the courtroom. Jordan Neely was somebody's child. And yes, disruptive on the train. So was a man, was a dancer, loved dressing up like Michael Jackson. All of these other things. Was a human being. And we can talk about, juries did this and so on and so forth, and we got to respect juries. Of course, nobody respected juries that, convicted Donald Trump. And you try to draw that comparison. Why would you draw that comparison? Because Trump's going back to the White House and Neely's in a grave. Y'all don't care. And the fact that you couldn't even give the man the dignity to say his name. And I don't remember if Reverend Al Sharpton preached his funeral. I don't remember. But I know Reverend Al Sharpton was on your show that day, and I do believe that if he was in that segment, or anybody who has some sympathy, real sympathy towards the Black community and the issues we face of dealing with these types of issues, whether it be from policemen or people who somehow get deputized, like a George Zimmerman or a Daniel Penny, who was on the show. I believe, if Simone Sanders was there, or Morgay, or or Reverend Al Sharpton, they were on that panel. They probably would have given Jordan Neely a little bit more dignity that you denied him. So I'm wondering if it feels convenient that certain people weren't there when you did this segment. If you want to talk about humanity and you want to talk about civility, you can't be hypocritical about that. And it can't be selective. Jordan Neely should be here today. Even if he was in prison, he should be here today and have an opportunity to get the help that he needed, that he was denied because people held him down while Daniel Penny choked him. And I don't think those other guys who held him down went to trial either. So folks, and when you watch Penny's interviews, like, I would have felt terrible if someone got hurt on that train if I didn't do something. Well, you did something and you hurt somebody. You killed a man. Any remorse about that? If you want to call him a hero, he's a killer. We can talk about the fact that he helped people on the subway feel safer. Like I said, I'm fine with that. Maybe remove Jordan Neely from the train. Maybe subdue him until the cops come. But to hold him long enough that he would die and not face, and this person faces no consequences, and you saw the network that he went to go and speak to says a lot as well. That was not cool. So Morning Joe, if you want to talk about decency and you want to talk about civility, just make sure you have it when it goes all around. And a homeless person deserves that as well. A mentally ill person deserves that as well. For somebody who talks about, your compassion and conservatism and all of that, you denied it to Jordan Neely. Maybe I'll do better going forward. Peace.